think the terms I used were not as great as I'd hoped, but better than I thought it would be. With the knowledge and skills we had, it's a miracle that we finished it in a year.
But on a whole, it was a great learning experience. I think everyone kind of progressed in their own direction, kind of specialized a little more.
As far as the project goes, I feel happy, like I feel satisfied. I think, you know, we did it. We set out to do a thing, and we did the thing.
You can never finish a project and be 100% happy with it. That's never happened in my entire life.
We made a game. I don't know what else to say. We made a game, and it actually works, and I'm super proud of it. People love it. I love it.
I'm relieved the project is finished and turned out well.
I think we glued very well together as a team. I mean, overall we had a few, bumps here and there, but it was all kind of in good fun for the most part.
The functional side of our development went exceptionally fast and very well.
I think just the overall scale of it, I think we fit a lot into a year's development, not knowing much going in.
Our weekly meetings of 4 to 6 hours, they were ridiculous. I feel like those went pretty well, and everyone got a good idea of what we wanted to do, which helped obviously for later on when we actually had to make the thing. But that went really well. It helped everyone get their big, broad ideas into a smaller scope that made sense.
I think once we finally got a handle of how a pipeline should work, things got a lot better. So probably in the beginning we were pretty terrible with our naming conventions, what was done, what wasn't done, and then basically just streamlining the pipeline. So by the end, it was far easier to produce one piece of work and then pass it on to the next person and then have it actually implemented relatively seamlessly for the most part. Emphasis on the most part.
I think most importantly, it was fun, and it looked good, despite all the problems that Nick had with the lighting and level moving. And by the end of it, we had a game that actually looked like had a distinctive look and was visually nice, played well, and had good characters and good dialogue, and really like the whole package. We did it. We made the whole thing.
Our pipeline. There were so many things we could have done better, that we should have done better, that we should have done more research on and more planning, given our time constraints. I mean, I don't blame us for doing it that way.
Our stiffness with our art pipeline, it was good. It was definitely better than anything we'd done before, but it wasn't great.
We didn't have enough time to put into training the player. There was a lot of players getting stuck at certain parts, and it just drove me insane. But yeah, that was, I think, the worst part.
Like, the only real reservation I have with it, some of those mocap parts I mean, David did his best, but there was just still some parts that just didn't, like, you can see and you go like, oh, that's not how an arm moves.
Our trust in the motion capture system, we knew the issues with having only 10 cameras to try to capture everything with, and we did our best to try to use it. Even though I was lead animator, I don't think I had the skills nor anyone else to really capture kind of the nuances of the character. So definitely motion capture was good for that, but it was not nearly as refined as I would have hoped it to be.
Performance, we spent barely any time on it just because we had no time to dedicate to it, basically. Like, making it run better should have been a higher priority.
Roles are important as well, just to have people be able to have the final say. It's just trusting your teammates as well to be able to do things and not having to look over their shoulder all the time, because everyone here is pretty capable of doing what they're assigned to. 30 minutes of music is a lot to write. But I had a great time writing it. It was super fun. I definitely learned, orchestral type music is something I'd never written a whole lot of before. And so I learned a lot of things about how to write that.
Well, I'd say specifically what I learned most was what it takes to produce a functional rig. basically the rig has been designed in such a way that it's fail-safe, so that someone who doesn't know how everything was put together can take it and work with it seamlessly.
Decision making, I guess, because early on, so I was the art lead, and we were making decisions about Halen's gun, for example, and I was the art lead, and I knew that I'd be doing the final say, but I knew that since we all had visual ideas, I wanted everyone to have a say in it, and it, instead of being a nice discussion where everyone really got their say, it turned into a quagmire of just endless discussion and debate.
I learned a lot about asset creation. I'd never done it to this scale. I've modeled, for this game I modeled a couple hundred unique meshes, and that was ridiculous, and I'd never done it to that level, let alone in that time.
I definitely learned how to use Unity. I'd used Unreal Engine before a lot, so that's where my skill set was, so trying to translate that to Unity. I also learned how to properly coordinate a team. I think I'd been good at managing people before, but it mostly had a lot to do with, this person's not getting this done, I'll just do it. But this was a project that was too big to do that.
I guess just find something you like doing and do it. Yeah, game jams are a big one actually. It's a nice casual way to just meet other game developers, get some practice in, learn a thing or two, and just have a lot of fun doing it.
Build up to it. Start with something small, finish it. Start with something slightly bigger, finish it. But I think get into a team as soon as possible. I think I hear so many game developers who are just I'm just working on a personal project alone. It's so hard to finish a game alone. You're always going to reach a point where you're I don't want to do this anymore. You don't have anyone saying, get to work. You don't have your own Nick telling you to get to work.
I guess what I'd say is that iterate where needed, or if something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to change, at least early on, don't be afraid to change big game things. We had wall grabs, a whole thing, and then one day we said, why is this here? And we just took it out and added something else, and it made the game better.
Make sure you are organized from the beginning, know what you want to make, and break it up into steps, manageable steps. By having these manageable milestones, you'll be able to see your project develop and not be overwhelmed by, I have this whole thing to do, where do I start?
Find a team. If you're working on a game, right, that's going to take a year to make on your own, to figure it all out, why not just go grab a programmer, grab an artist, and make that same game in 4 months, and do it with a much easier time and more people to bounce ideas off of. The more people you have that are being useful in your project and helping you do things, the better it's going to go.
Essentially, my entire life has been starting things and not finishing them. I have tons of unfinished games and tons of unfinished stories and art projects. I'm I'm gonna draw clouds. And I've been taking pictures of clouds for years in preparation of doing all these cloud drawings. I've done a little bit of cloud drawings, but not that much.
I still want to figure out how to do multiplayer over a network, because there's a large market for adding multiplayer to games, and if I can unlock that secret, then I think we're off to a better start.
Continue to make more cool games, hopefully, and lots of writing music, and I think I'm doing some graphic design this summer too.
Definitely there's some things brewing for personal projects, but it's more refining what it is I can make easily and well.
Something I want to keep, or I have done in the past, is live stream speed art and whatever for my YouTube as well as Twitch, but something I want to do is do that more consistently and do character creation and monster creation, that sort of stuff.
It's a lot of learning the nitty-gritty of running a business, so I can help run SkyPyre the best I can. But I also have a lot of other stuff that I'm working on too, because I want to work on my skills as an Unreal Engine developer, so I'm doing a lot of that.
I'd like to say to anyone who's been supporting us or watching your videos or anything like that, thank you very much. We're just really happy to know that people like what we've created, and we're hoping to create more stuff that people enjoy, not only in terms of games, but animation, videos. So keep following us if you enjoy our stuff, because a lot of stuff is coming up.